Hello, Fabulous Leo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of September 2018, looking at life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing month it is. We have a new moon bringing you power moves where it comes to finances. We've got a full moon as well that will open up the world to you. You add to this a Venus retrograde season as part of the year of retrogrades. Well, there's so much to talk about. So let's start with that new moon in the first part of the month, right around the 9th, give or take a day on either side, depending on where you are on the planet. We will have a new moon. Now, this is happening in a financial part of your sky. It has to do with money that you spend and money that you earn. There are powerful connections taking place with this new moon. It is speaking in supreme harmony with Pluto. I'm super excited about that. If new financial opportunities should come up for you at this time, there is a need to be a little bit mindful because Neptune is standing across the sky from this new moon, which can suggest maybe not seeing certain details very clearly. And so just be mindful, especially where it comes to making any kind of financial agreements or taking on a new financial opportunity. The other thing, of course, this can suggest spending, but the great thing is that when there's such strong financial energy in a chart, it means that the money you need is there. When we have a new moon speaking the way that this is with Pluto, it suggests that you are making some transformative effort. There is some power play that you are working on that ultimately will be part of improving your life and improving your circumstances in some meaningful way. As we move towards the later part of the month, right around the 24th is when we are going to have a full moon. Now, this full moon is in fellow fire sign Aries. It is in your element, and it is speaking in harmony with Mars, and that adds a measure of excitement and thrill to this. And because it is in your own element, it means that you're able to work with the energy that much more to your advantage. However, this full moon is standing across the sky from Mercury and speaking to Saturn as well. This is taking place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with engaging more of the world. So whether that is through travel or immigration and citizenship, or whether that is through ideas having to do with higher education or new philosophies that you may be exposed to, all of that is covered here. I do think that this can be an exciting time to take a trip or to learn something new. At the same time, though, just be prepared to be challenged in some ways, to see things really differently in a way that leads you to reflect more deeply on yourself. And also to consider the nuances and the subtleties with which we communicate and share larger ideas, philosophical principles with each other. It can be possible with this because of the way that Mercury is standing across the sky from this full moon that some projection may be going on. And what I mean by that is, it's easy to say sometimes, oh, that person is this, without fully owning that those very qualities are within us, or the fact that we're reacting to something that we're perceiving means that there's something within us that we get an opportunity to learn. And that will be part of the opportunity that may very well show up for you. With Saturn speaking to this full moon, it does suggest that there may be an awareness of your own responsibilities, an awareness of your own obligations, but also an awareness of the past and what has been and where it is that you have felt your loyalties are. Or more importantly, this is the inner parent, right? That voice of the inner parent. And where is it now that you are being led to see things differently in a way that maybe challenges some earlier messages about what the world is and what other people are? Now, this ultimately can be a very rewarding journey. And the great thing is, because of that harmonious connection with Mars, even though, yes, it can be serious, Saturn is involved, it can also be a whole lot of fun because Mars is there in harmony. Now, I promised to talk to you about love, and I promised to talk to you about Venus retrograde season, which starts this month. Right around the 3rd of the month, right out of the gate, is when Venus will go into shadow. And Venus will actually officially go retrograde a little bit later on once we get into next month. But this month is valuable as well, because this is where the retrograde season begins. You do want to watch what is transpiring in your life, especially in the first 2 weeks of this month, because in some way you will be returning to what happens and getting further clarity, further insights once we get further into this year. So it is kind of like a year of retrogrades, isn't it? Big planets are going retrograde, which means that next year will be a lot more calmer, at least when it comes to the retrogrades anyways. But bringing it back to this moment, with Venus now preparing to enter shadow and entering shadow early in the month, you will be beginning a journey. And part of that includes asking yourself, as Venus retrograde season invites us to ask ourselves, do I love it? Do I love this situation? Do I love this person, place, or thing? And you will get to consider and contemplate that more deeply. And in the process, learn about what love is for you. For you, there are powerful things transpiring here, because much of this retrograde season is going to be spent with Venus at the very bottom of your sky. And this has to do with understanding your past differently, and how the love that you have, or the love that you want, the experiences you've had in love, how have they been shaped by your earliest experiences? How have they been shaped by the dynamic you saw playing out with your parents, whether between them or outside of them, but playing out in terms of the earliest examples you saw of what a relationship is. You will begin a process of contemplating more deeply how it is that the past is showing up in your present. For some of you, this may be, especially this month, attracting someone back into your life that you were connected to way back in the day, way long ago. Now, this sense of somebody returning to you from the past can actually play out whether you are open to meeting someone new or in an established bond at this time. And so whatever transpires and whoever shows up, ultimately understand that this is about your learning. It's always up to you to decide what's right for you in light of your unique circumstances, and what's right for you to do in terms of the action you take. However, the lesson will still be there. If you are someone who is open to meeting someone new, make sure you're watching what is transpiring, especially around the new moon in the first part of the month that I spoke about earlier. And the reason I say that is because that's around the time when Venus is going to enter this very bottom of your chart. And because that particular new moon has to do with self-esteem and self-worth, it is very possible that you would attract somebody into your life who in some way was a lesson for you, whether in the past, that had to do with what you allowed or what you wouldn't allow based on your own sense of self-value, based on your own sense of self-love. And you'll get to look at that all over again with fresh eyes, and you'll get to heal that as well a little bit more deeply. For those of you in an established bond, one way that this energy can also play out has to do with patterns, like what patterns, what grooves, where is it that you found yourself sort of stuck in a particular way of being or way of operating that isn't necessarily something that you want to continue into the future. Well, if there are certain patterns within the relationship, well, that may show up for you now, as well as some insights into what you can do to create meaningful change. What I love about this month for you, well, look, there's a lot to love here, but I have to say, I do really love that full moon in the later part of the month. I mean, with all its challenges, with all its difficulties, at the end of the day, it is that full moon that is in your element, right? It's resonating with you in a way that means you will feel more awakened and you will feel more alive. You'll be curious about the world and willing to engage and take chances and pursue what it is that you are enthusiastic about. And what that means is happiness. You're open to happiness in a way that might have felt a little bit distant, but here it is. And it is the happiness that you deserve. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this every week by logging on to astrofabulous.com or nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded, exclusive video scopes every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes, including the Venus special horoscopes that are on my website now, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.